Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Girl and Two Cats. I'm Julia, and today is October 1st, so that means the official countdown for Halloween can start. I mean, I've started counting down earlier than this, but there are some people who say, you can't start counting down for Halloween until October 1st. Well, whatever. I'm titling this video 31 Spook-Tacular Days, and there's a cat down there. And basically what I am doing is I am giving you guys a list of 31 like TV specials and movies that really get me into the Halloween spirit. Hope you guys enjoy, so here we go. Oh, that sucked. I forgot my camera's right there. What the frick? This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Pumpkin scream in the dead of night. Okay, to kick off this list, I am starting with the TV special, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Growing up, I remember like always watching all of the Charlie Brown's TV specials. And it's like kind of just a, you know, a holiday tradition, not just with Halloween, but with like every holiday. Poor Charlie Brown, poor freaking Charlie Brown. All he wanted was to go trick-or-treating and get candy. And what did he get? He got a bag full of rocks.
I got a rock.
The next item on my list is Hocus Pocus. I think that you can't go outside. You can't go outside. Anyway, Hocus Pocus, I'm trying to think how old I was the very first time I saw it. I can't really remember. I've always watched it like every year. It's kind of something that you watch every single year. And you know, Disney, they have quite a bit of different, you know, Halloween or movies to kind of get you into the spooky, you know, feeling, I guess, which leads me to my next, film on my list, which is Halloween Town. Now, I like all of the Halloween Town movies, but the very first one is like the best. You know, it's like, you know, Disney Channel, you know, that's something that you look forward to every single year. Even though I didn't have Disney Channel growing up, I managed to see Halloween Town one way or another. And I'm gonna, I guess, continue with some of the other Disney movies that kind of get me in the Halloween spirit. Monsters, Inc. and Monsters University. While those two are not technically Halloween movies, I mean, come on, Monsters, you know, Inc. is like amazing. And the second one was okay, but if you watch the first one, you gotta watch the prequel. So I actually have a funny about Monsters Inc. So story time. When I was living at home, I was probably, I'm trying to think, I was like maybe 13, 14, and I was watching Monsters Inc. late at night, and you know, in the very beginning, they're in, you know, the scare stimulator, and the monster ends up getting scared. Sorry, Oliver's over there being weird. And the monster who's doing the stimulator starts screaming. Anyway, it's late at night, and my mom hears this screaming, jumps up and runs to my room and is like, oh my gosh, are you okay, Julia? Like, I heard you screaming. And I was like, Mom, that's the movie. And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, sorry, I thought I had it turned down really, really, really low, but apparently I didn't. Another movie on my list from the Disney, like, I guess genre is a Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. The movie itself is kind of corny, but it's Eddie Murphy. And it's really funny just watching him get freaked out because Eddie Murphy's hilarious. Even though anytime I see something with Eddie Murphy, I just like think of Mushu from Mulan. So it's kind of, you know, you kind of have to separate both of them, you know. Just every character that Eddie Murphy plays is not Mushu, okay? One of the Disney movies on my list that's not really known well is The Black Cauldron. It came out in the 80s, I believe. Yes. And a lot of people really don't know about it. It's really, really dark, but it's really good. You know, I wish I had a bigger fan base, but it doesn't. And it's just, it's really dark. I mean, that's just really the best way to describe it, but it's good dark. Can dark be good? And another movie that is on the Disney list that is not really known well is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Crane. Correction, the movie title is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. It's actually into two parts, like I got lipstick on my finger. The first part is about Mr. Toad. Now Mr. Toad is a character from the book The Wind in the Willows, and I really don't know why they really paired these two characters together, like the two-part thing, but they did. And of course, Ichabod Crane is from, you know, the Sleepy Hollow legend, you know, the Headless Horseman and things like that. But this is like the more kid version of it, where it's not like super creepy, unlike the, you know, the Tim Burton version, you know, which is, but you know, it's Tim Burton, so. And I guess the last item on my Disney list is Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie you can watch any time of the year because, you know, it's Nightmare Before Christmas. Hello. But really, you can watch it like the peak time to watch it is October through December. And I talked to someone and they're like, so is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie? And you're like, it's both. Duh. Now that we're out of the Disney genre, there's like a couple of other like family-friendly kid, you know, Halloween movies that are some of my favorite. For example, Coraline. I read the book Coraline. I want to say it was like in the 5th grade, and I remember it was like really creepy. And then my mom read it for some weird reason. No, I was in the 6th grade. Now that I think about it, I was in the 5th or I was in middle school, so I was 5th or 6th grade. I just remember my mom read it, and she was like, "Man, this book is weird." And then, you know, the movie came out, and my mom was like, I thought the book was bad, and this is a kid's movie. The Hotel Transylvania series is really cute. I've seen the first one and the second one. I haven't had a chance to see the third one, but it's super cute. You know, I feel like, you know, younger audiences may enjoy it better, but me, like, I for kid movies, I'm pretty, you know, tolerant of certain things. I mean, you know, to some level of, don't really want to use the word stupidity, but, you know. I remember in the 5th grade, I saw Monster House. They played it during art class, actually, during, you know, October. And I remember it was like the craziest movie. I remember, I can tell you who I watched it with. I watched it with my friend Brianna. We sat next to each other, and we watched it. And I just remember like just being obsessed with the movie afterwards. But it's a really good movie. The next item on my list is Casper. This was, you know, in the 90s. Christina Ricci was at her prime, I feel like. And who can ever not forget the words that Casper said to Kat? Can I keep you? Like, oh my gosh. Like, our young little hearts, my young little heart was like, I love this. So, and then what a lot of people don't know is about Casper Meets Wendy. This movie had a young, pre-Lizzie McGuire Hilary Duff. She was probably like 10 or 11 in the movie. And she was super adorable. She played Wendy, the good little witch. And in the movie, apparently ghosts and witches are like sworn enemies. It kind of felt like like pre-Twilight. Instead of like, you know, vampires and werewolves, it was ghosts and witches. Heck, I thought they were all in cahoots with each other to just scare the living crap out of human beings. But okay, I guess not. Tim Burton is literally paved the path for a long list of creepy movies to watch during Halloween. Really to watch any time of the year, but especially during the month of October. And I have a list of several that are my favorite. The first one that's on my list is Edward Scissorhands. I was probably 5 or 6 the first time I watched it. I really liked Winona Ryder. I was obsessed with Little Women when I was younger. Still kind of am. And I just remember the end of Edward Scissorhands. And I didn't, of course, understand, you know, every little thing. But I knew that they did not end up together. And I was sad. And I cried. speaking of Johnny Depp, my next film on my list is Corpse Bride. I remember actually getting Corpse Bride as a Valentine's Day present from my mom because I really wanted it on DVD, and she got it for me. I used to, my mom had a TV out in our garage, and I went out there and I took my DVD player out there, and I would camp out there with my cat at the time, and I would just sit out there and watch Corpse Bride on repeat. I absolutely loved the movie. I actually went to theaters and saw it now that I think about it. Yeah, I did go to theaters. Oh yeah, I remember. Because the plot twist, I was like, oh my gosh. So, double chin. The next item on my Tim Burton list is Beetlejuice. I'm trying to think how old I was the very first time I saw Beetlejuice. I want to say I was 10 or 11. And and I remember going around the house saying, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And my mom just, it annoyed her because I would just go around saying, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And nothing ever happened other than, stop saying Beetlejuice. The next item on my Tim Burton list is Sweeney Todd. I love musicals just in general, but Sweeney Todd, it was really good. It was different. I saw it when it first came out, and it was something really different. I was just getting really obsessed with musical theater, so this was something that I hadn't seen before. I always thought that musicals were all happy and cheery, and Mary Poppins, Sound of Music, and why do I keep saying musicals that Julie Andrews were in? There's more than those. And the last item on my Tim Burton list is Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow is like I was talking about earlier, the story of Ichabod Crane, and except Sleepy Hollow is more the adult version of the legend of Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman and all that crap, and Johnny Depp. The next item that's on my list is the Addams Family. I grew up, with my grandma, but I called her mom, and so TV Land was always on in the house, or just shows from that time era, and I just remember the Addams Family. Even if you've never seen the show, you know the theme song, da 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 da. Like, I don't care who you are, you know the Addams Family theme song. And that comes to the next movie that's on my list, which is Ghostbusters. And I'm talking about the original one. I love Melissa McCarthy, but the original one with Bill Murray is so much better. And even if you had never seen the movie, everyone knows the theme song. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Everybody knows that. Even if they don't know the movie, they know who you're going to call Ghostbusters. Okay, now I'm going to kind of shift over to movies that may not necessarily be considered appropriate for all ages. I'm going to start with one of my very, very favorite movies, just period, which is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. At the time that Rocky Horror came out in the 70s, it was something that was really different. It didn't really do good when it first came out, but now it's a huge cult classic, and that people go crazy over Rocky Horror, and I don't blame them. Rocky Horror is amazing. And there's actually another musical that's on my list that really gets me in the mood for Halloween. And that movie is Little Shop of Horrors. Before Howard Ashman and Alan Menken went to go write for the Disney and Little Mermaid lyrics and Beauty and the Beast lyrics, they wrote the Little Shop of Horrors. I think after seeing that movie, I didn't really look at Steve Martin the same for a little while, because that was weird. I was like, Steve Martin, is that you? The next movie on my adult movie list is Psycho, and I'm talking about the original Psycho. I'm not talking about the weird knockoff with Vince Vaughn, where Vince Vaughn tried to be creepy, and he was creepy, but not in the way Norman Bates needed to be creepy. It was creepy as in Vince Vaughn, what are you doing? Stick to comedies, okay? I've actually just recently been binge watching Bates Motel, which is the prequel to the movie Psycho, and it's really weird to say this, the original guy who played Norman Bates, I always thought he was really attractive, and I've always thought Freddie Highmore was attractive, and you're watching Bates Motel and you're also watching Psycho, and you're like, wait a minute. These guys are, excuse my pun, playing a psycho character, and you still think they're cute? Who's the psycho now? Spoiler alert, it's me. The next movie that's on my list is Black Swan with Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis. So when I saw the movie, when it first came out, I didn't really know a lot about it. Didn't realize it was going to be like a psychological thriller. I knew there was ballet in it and it was kind of going to be weird, but I didn't realize how weird it was going to be. But it's a good weird. I like that kind of weird. The next movie that's on my list is The Shining. Thanks to The Shining, we now have some, well-known catchphrases like, "Here's Johnny," and "Red rum, red rum." And another Stephen King movie that is on my list is Carrie. Not the one with Julianne Moore and Chloe Grace Moretz, but the one with Sissy Spacek. Now, while the one with Julianne Moore and Chloe Grace Moretz was okay, I'm all about the OG status, y'all. And with this movie, we also got some awesome catchphrases like, "Plug it up, plug it up, plug it up." What's up with my face? And the third Stephen King movie that is on this list, as a personal favorite of mine, is Misery. Kathy Bates is like one of my favorite actresses, but when she was in Misery as Annie Wilkes, and she just turns and says, "I'm your biggest fan," like, whoa. She definitely deserved that Oscar. She was rather terrifying in that movie. Another movie that I really like that kind of gets me in the Halloween spirit is Zombieland. Now, while Zombieland isn't really scary, it's more or less a comedy, it's still really good. Something that's really bothered me is Woody Harrelson's character, Tallahassee's obsession with Twinkies. Twinkies are disgusting. Like, ugh. I don't like Twinkies. I never have. I don't like snowballs either. I don't like donuts and fruit and celery, and not Twinkies. Another movie that I really, really like is Interview with a Vampire. I mean, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. Brad Pitt with long hair. Oh my gosh. I thought that was something I would never, ever want to see, but it was kind of cool. It was kind of awesome. And of course, Kirsten Dunst, my celebrity look-alike. I don't really look like her as much as I used to, but I always got told growing up, you look like Kirsten Dunst. You look like Michael Jackson. You look like MJ, Spider-Man's girlfriend. Thanks. Did you know that? Yeah, just about everybody in the world tells me this. The last item that's on my list isn't really a movie. It's not really a TV special, but it's long enough to be one. I am talking about the Thriller music video by Michael Jackson. It's like 13, 14 minutes long, and I'm talking about like the original, like the extended version. It's really good. Basically, Michael Jackson and his girlfriend go see a scary movie, and she wants to leave because she's too freaked out about it. And then they walk out of the theater, and he's walking. He starts singing Thriller to her, and then he turns into a friggin' zombie, and then starts doing this dancing thing. So, I mean, like, I don't know how I would feel. Be like, oh my God, my boyfriend turned into a zombie, or was he a werewolf? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and watch it. And it's like, he's a werewolf or a zombie or whatever the heck. He's turned into a monster, but he's dancing. He's got some pretty slick moves, even though he's technically undead. Should I be freaked out, or should I be fascinated? That is the real question here. Okay, guys, well, I hope you liked this week's video. I don't know if you agree or disagree with my list. If there's anything on your list that I didn't include, make sure to comment below, and maybe it's something I haven't seen, or maybe it's something I need to rewatch and maybe bump some other things off my list and add it to my list. I love you guys all very, 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 very much. Hope you guys have an awesome October. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.